packed in here.
The Stanley Cup has arrived, you guys. How you feeling about it? How you feeling? Luc Robitaille is joining us as well. And Luc, boy, you come in and the house just changes and people get excited. There's a crowd around the Stanley Cup. It's amazing.
Big entrance. We do big entrance.
Yeah, you do. Well, we're thrilled to be part of this incredible dynasty. 2 years in a row, the Stanley Cup. How do you approach the next season? You know, we were talking to both to Nick and Daryl about their approach to announcing the games and the players' approach. How do you approach your position with the team to keep them motivated and not get too comfortable on their laurels? They've got 2 cups behind them. To keep that motivation going with that fire to win.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a couple things. Like the first thing is we started building the team and the organization 8 years ago. And, you know, it was a process, and we knew we wanted to get the right guys with the character and so forth. And we feel we have the right people now in place. And then if you go back at our captain and what he said this year, and then Jonathan Quick said kind of the same thing. Our captain says, once you win it once, you know, it hurts a lot more when you don't win it the next time because you know what you're missing. And then I do recall when Jonathan Quick said a quote about the Kings versus San Jose in the first round. He said, what's the difference between you guys and them? He goes, well, we're pretty close. We're both the same team. He goes, the difference is they want to win, and he says, us, we hate to lose.
That's a big distinction.
So,
big distinction.
You know, so it's. I think that's the way our players are. They hate to lose. So this year they're going to come back with the same attitude.
Now, you had some near-death experiences in the playoffs, a couple of them, one with Anaheim, one with San Jose primarily. Do you think that gave the team just a little bit more resilience as you move deeper into the playoffs when they face Chicago and New York?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. By the time we got to New York series, we were really tired. You know, I mean, I remember when we won this year versus 2 years ago when we won. I mean, our guys barely had time to party. It seemed like they needed rest, and it was amazing. It was totally different, you know. And but you know, the fact of the matter is, in our conference, Anaheim has a great team. You know, Chicago is an amazing team. San Jose is a great team. So we know to beat them, it's going to take pretty much the same thing every year. We don't want to come back from 3-0 deficit, but we know every series is always going to be hard. And definitely, you know, winning the first 2 rounds, going against Chicago, we had a good rhythm, but still, it was really hard.
You know, it's interesting because ESPN is based out of Bristol, Connecticut. The networks are all based out of New York. The big newspapers are primarily on the East Coast. And sometimes they forget that we exist out here.
That's
and
right.
It's not just the Kings and the Ducks and the Sharks that all have great teams. I mean, look at the Angels. The Angels have the best record in baseball. They're all but ignored when you watch SportsCenter. Do you think that almost gives the West Coast teams in the long term in the playoffs a leg up on the East Coast teams because they come on by surprise and they catch everyone off guard?
You know, the reason they miss it is because all those guys go to bed around 10:30, 11,
That's
and our
true.
game starts around that time. But
That's right.
you know, does it give us a leg? I think what it does, I'm not sure it does, but I think where it gives us a leg, and it's the same with the Angels. Once you get in a long playoff series against the East Coast team, they're not as used to traveling as we are. So the longer the series goes, the more usually you have an edge on the other team. But we knew that in 1993 when I was with the Kings, and it feels the same today. You know?
How much does the travel wear you out? When you're skating every night, you have back-to-back games, and then you have a 6-hour plane trip.
It's hard. It's really hard. That's the hardest thing for our players is the wear of traveling. I mean, because you know, you have morning skates and you have practices. Sometimes you go to bed at 2, 3 in the morning. You still got to get out of bed and go to practice. And so we're really focused now on nutrition, resting the guys, doing everything. We've always said we built this team that we want to have an opportunity to win the Cup for 8 to 10 years. And we're only in the 3rd year of that process. So it's very important for us. Everything we're doing now, we're trying to plan it for the next 4 or 5 years, whether we're resting the guys, getting them the right nutrition, the workout program. It's not just about being good tomorrow. It's about being good for many, many years.
Do you ever wish you were still playing?
No. I think, you know, I'm happy. I mean, I loved what I did. It was so much fun. I gave everything I had. Once it was over, I was like, man, it was great. I got to live my dream. And then today I'm 48. I'm still involved with a game. And
Are
when
you
you think about it,
48?
and it's just a game. I just, I was a
But
little
when
kid
you're
playing
in
the
it,
game.
when you're in it, it's your life. It's your
Yeah.
passion. It's
Yeah.
everything. Do you ever talk to Wayne Gretzky at all?
Oh
or-
yeah, I talk to all the boys. I mean,
Yeah.
I still talk to Marty and Marty
Nice.
McSorley. We still talk to Wayne Gretzky,
Wow.
Tony Granato, Thomas, all the guys.
Do you guys
I mean,
all
we
have the
still-
sort of same, you all came up at the same time, you're all as successful, and
yeah.
you have families, and you get to live this life out here and still be part of hockey.
Yeah.
Do you ever
In the
just
nice
pinch
weather.
right? I mean, it's not Canada anymore, Luke.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we go back, but we go back in the summer.
Yeah, of course. I just came back. I know.
But the greatest thing about our game is, I don't know if other sports are like that, but I know for hockey is, you could play with a guy for like 5, 6, 7 years, know his family and everything. And then once we both retire, we move away. I might not see him for 10 years. The day I see him, it's like I left him like 10 years before, and then you talk like the same language. And
Wow.
it's a very special bond that we have when we play together, because we do a lot of sacrifice for each other as
Yes.
players. And then so
Yes.
that you never ever lose that.
Have
it's
you ever
wonderful.
seen the fans this jazzed this early on in a King season before?
It's a couple years ago it was, but when we had the lockout, unfortunately. So this year it's been a lot of fun just to see that we're starting on time. We're excited. Every event that we're putting out right now, like whether we're doing a small thing or big thing, is sold out. It's crazy. Our fans are excited, and I've never seen as many. My wife was telling me the other day, we're walking around Santa Monica, and we've never seen that many people wearing Kings t-shirts,
Yeah.
Kings hat everywhere. So we're excited. I mean, it was part of our process and organization to be relevant, so it's a lot of fun to see. I love the Kings. I love LA, so it's kind of fun to get to share that.
And with Chick Hearn gone, you've got Vin Scully, you've got Bob Miller, you've got Ralph Lawler. I mean, Bob is really one of the deans of the LA sportscasters.
Yeah, he's a legend. I mean, I remind the NHL every time that I see them that he's the only hockey guy with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah,
every
that's a
time.
great
It's pretty
point.
amazing when you think about it.
is amazing.
So he's incredible, and he's part of the LA Kings franchise. He's part of our family, and that will never change.
Remember growing up in Canada, and I remember Hockey Night in Canada was part of my
That's
background.
right, yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's the best song.
Oh, it's the best. And Don Cherry was such a part, my
Yeah.
dad being an ice convener, my brother being in the OHL. It was such a part of the backdrop of my life. And do you ever feel homesick, or do you have people there's so many Canadians down here as a group that you don't even have to feel that sort of longing?
I miss the family. I have a lot of friends here. I'm in the hockey world, so I deal with Canada all the time,
yeah.
And the cool thing is now I watch the NHL Network, so now on Saturday at 4 o'clock they play Hockey Night in Canada. So I love the fact that our games are at 7:30.
Nice.
So I always watch Don Cherry still, and I watch it
stop.
like all. Oh yeah, this is my favorite
Wait,
show to
does
watch.
he still have Blue or no? Blue's gone? Does he have a new Blue?
No, he doesn't have, but we still got the weird suits and everything. And there's no way he could get away with what he says in the U.S. There's
No
not a
way.
chance. I mean,
That's-
he is the best
The best.
TV guy, but it is kind of reality, very on the edge. He could never
he
get
work
away
blue?
with what he
So
says.
does he work Blue? He had a
No,
dog
his
named
dog
Blue,
was
and
named
he's Blue.
But
let me
this
tell
guy
you,
is like
he's
John Madden times
50. And
on
Luke
the edge side.
brings up a point. I grew up with Canadian television, so when I came out here, everybody thought I was so edgy, and I was like, I'm just Canadian. I don't know what they're talking about. It would be so risque to be here in the States as
yeah.
Don. But he's a true Canadian, and you've got to watch one of his broadcasts. You would
yeah.
love and appreciate it.
Sounds like it.
He's like no other.
He's like no other.
No
He's
other.
got the weird suits, and he does bits between peers. And literally, some people in Canada won't even watch the game. They'll just watch his
Yeah.
bits. That's
Yeah.
how great he is.
Yeah, he's great.
That's an entertainer.
Yeah, I've got to get that channel.
That's
the
right.
NHL channel.
NHL
I'm in.
Network, yeah.
All right, done.
All right, Luc Robitaille, thanks so
Thank
much
you,
for stopping by. You made this crowd
All
very
right,
happy
guys.
by bringing that
No!
cup into this bar.
This was not, I mean, our players always hang out here, so it's a lot of fun for the cup to come back here. I know our guys all live around here, and this is
Nice.
their neighborhood, so it's great to see you guys.
Thank you, Luc Robitaille. Give it up for Luc.
It is 2:24. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roads with John Wolf in the KABC Traffic Center.